When you look at this, you know what you'll get. Creamy, robust, luxurious, caffeinated goodness. Today we'll get all of that in something that looks like this. It's a clear espresso martini with none of the color and all of the flavor of your typical espresso martini. We'll make the classic one first, then we'll get into the who, why and how behind the clear coffee cocktail. So if you're into discovering new trends, techniques and recipes to elevate your cocktail game, subscribe below and hit the bell icon to always get notified when, just like now, it's cocktail time. I've made plenty of espresso martinis on the channel, going back to a tequila espresso martini, way back in episode 2, a nitro espresso martini with cold brew and nitrous chargers, and an Irish espresso stoutini made with stout beer syrup. Now it's time to tackle the classic, to have something to compare the clear version to. To make this Dick Bratzel classic from the 80s, let's start with a chilled shaker, into which we'll add 1.5 ounce or 45 ml of vodka. Next, 1 ounce or 30 ml of Mr. Black coffee liqueur. And since that's not as sweet as your typical coffee liqueurs, I'll add 1/4 ounce or 7.5 ml of Liber & Co.'s rich Demerara syrup, and as the main coffee component, a shot of freshly brewed espresso, so 1 ounce or 30 ml. Lastly, 2 drops of 20% saline solution. Add ice, shake hard to chill and dilute, and really froth up the coffee. Then double strain into a chilled martini glass. Garnish with 3 coffee beans to represent health, wealth, and happiness. And I'll be happy to give this a try. Coffee dominates every aspect. The aroma, taste, and the finish. It's creamy, rich, and popular for a reason. From classic to clear, thanks to this coffee-washed vodka, packed with flavor but with zero color. This technique was developed by Rich Woods, aka the cocktail guy, for a clear martini version of the espresso martini. Let's hear it from the man himself and how he came up with this.
Hey Kevin, thanks for having me. The process behind the coffee oil vodka came about because I wanted to see if I could impart flavor into a spirit without additional color, by using everyday household equipment and by not distilling. Now, oil washing a spirit as a technique has been around for some time, but it got me thinking, if I can infuse that oil with a flavor and then oil wash a spirit and filter it, I could end up with a delicious product that was crystal clear. I first experimented with herbs such as chive and tarragon, but the obvious drink for me was to see if I could make a crystal clear espresso martini. And here it is. And it's a banger. I really look forward to seeing what you make with it, and I can't wait to share a drink with you.
Thanks, Rich. Until next time. So when I saw this technique, my mind went straight to a clear but still creamy version of the espresso martini. Here are the ingredients we'll use. The base will of course be the coffee vodka. I'll also add our homemade cacao liqueur, which will boost the coffee notes in the cocktail. Simple syrup for the sweetness, and super foam to give us the frothiness we expect in an espresso martini, and of course, saline solution. I'll link the episodes where I show how to make a delicious cacao liqueur and super foam. Now let's go over how to make coffee-washed vodka. To start, we first need to make coffee oil, which is what we'll use to fat wash our vodka with. Measure 100 grams of freshly ground coffee, and if you can, go with a darker roasted coffee to get the most coffee flavor in the end result. To that, add double the amount, so 200 grams of neutral flavored oil. Something like sunflower oil is the best, as it won't impart unnecessary flavors. Add both to a blender and blend for about 30 to 60 seconds. Then let this mixture infuse for 6 hours or overnight for a stronger flavor. And as Rich notes, it's best to let this infuse in the fridge to ensure it stays fresh. Once infused, it's time to filter out the coffee. I tried using a coffee filter and a cloth filter, but paper towels actually works the best. Take this as a little hack, that in a pinch, a paper towel works just fine in your Chemex. Just fold it into shape and maybe clamp it to the sides. As you can see, this will take quite a long time to filter through. Probably overnight. No rush, leave it to do its thing. We're not looking for the best possible yield, but the most flavor, so to avoid having a messy situation, we're not squeezing this filter, but just discarding it. We'll then measure the amount of oil we ended up with. Because we'll add 50 ml of vodka for every 15 ml of coffee oil, we ended up with 120 ml of oil, which we add into a sous vide bag, followed by 400 ml of vodka. As you know, a sous vide gives you the most control over temperature and time, providing the best environment for optimal infusion. So we're placing this into a sous vide bath, set to 55 degrees Celsius or 130 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. You can try to replicate the sous vide bath with a half-filled saucepan on a stove. Once done, let it cool slightly. Then place it in the freezer for the oil to harden. Sunflower oil has a lower freezing point, so it will need more time in the freezer. Once it thickens, we can cut open the bag and strain our coffee oil washed vodka through a coffee filter. For the best result, you'll want to keep the oil as cold as possible. So let's place this in the fridge and we'll get back to it once it's done. This clear result is what we're looking for and something you couldn't get with a classic infusion of coffee and vodka. Beautiful. Bottle it, add a label, and we're ready to make the cocktail. As mentioned, we used this coffee vodka to make a true martini-styled cocktail with vermouth, creme de cacao, and sherry, but I wanted to use the coffee notes we have in our still clear vodka, and also keep the decadent mouthfeel of the classic espresso martini. So let's make a clear espresso martini. Start by chilling the shaker. And as always, have a glass chilling in the freezer. We're going with a coupe for this one. Then add 1 3/4 ounce or 52.5 milliliters of coffee oil washed vodka in the shaker. Followed by 1/4 ounce or 7.5 ml of white liqueur de cacao. Not as sweet as what you get in the store, but packed full of flavor. It's easier to balance cocktails by adding sweetness than if you have a liqueur that's too sweet. So I'm adding 1/2 ounce or 50 ml of simple syrup. And to make sure we have a nice velvety cocktail with a frothy head, 3/4 ounce or 22.5 ml of our DIY vegan foamer, the super foam. And since salt not only enhances but also pairs really well with coffee and cacao notes, add 1 dash of saline solution. Instead of a dry shake, I'm using one of the hacks I shared recently. Grab a milk frother or even a stick blender and froth up your cocktail before you add the ice into the shaker, at which point you'll still shake it hard to chill and dilute. Double strain it into our chilled glass to keep out any ice particles, and garnish the cocktail with 3 coffee beans once again. This will be the first hint of what to expect when you take a sip. But the aroma is what really gives it away before you take a sip. Coffee quickly takes over, with cacao working more as a supporting player, which was the goal in this creamy concoction. It's a fantastic experiment we'll surely use again on the channel. Thank you for the brilliant idea, Rich. With that, we've made it to the bottom of the glass. Post a hot beverage emoji to let me know you've made it all the way here. I thought that was the coffee emoji. Guess not. Speaking of coffee, did you know that coffee is the number 3 most consumed beverage in the world, behind only water and tea? If you're looking to mix coffee in your next cocktail, I have a playlist for friends of coffee. Check it out here. Until next time. Cheers.